everyone, Clark the Geek here, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be doing another Doctor Who ranking video. Today I'm going to be ranking all the title sequences from worst to best. Now the title sequences in Doctor Who are just incredible, it really gets you in the mood to watching an episode of Doctor Who, and I love that title sequences do that, for any TV show. And Doctor Who's title sequences are outstanding, Now, they've always been ahead of the game when it comes to visual effects, so stuff like the Howl-arounds, the split scans, the Starfields, and then from Sylvester McCoy onwards it was CGI. It's just brilliant. And the theme music as well, it's so iconic. Even if you don't watch Doctor Who, you know that theme tune, whether it's the more mysterious 60s versions, the more synthesised 80s versions, the more modern orchestral versions, you know it. And I'm going to be ranking all 16 title sequences today, so let's get to it. Coming in last place, we've got the Series 7A titles from Asylum of the Daleks to The Angels Take Manhattan. Now, some people don't usually count these as proper titles, but I do, and I think they are atrocious. Now, I really love the Matt Smith one from Series 5 and 6, but here they just completely ruin it. Trying to go for the whole blockbuster thing didn't work, The names just look so washed out. The colour grading looks genuinely sickly, because it just looks like a load of Instagram filters have been put over it. The texturing on the logo is just so gimmicky, and it's terrible. And I just hate it. It just completely ruins what was a great title sequence. At 15th, we've got the John Pertwee titles from season 11, so from his final season. Now, this title sequence is alright. It's got good stuff, like the bit at the beginning with like the star, like the vortex thing at the beginning. But overall, it kind of feels like a bit of a rushed prototype of the Tom Baker title sequence. You got the stupid shot of John Pertwee's entire body flying through the vortex, and some of the colours just look a bit off, and it feels a bit rushed. At 14th, we've got the season 18 titles for the 4th Doctor's final season. Now, this is essentially just the Peter Davison title sequence, but with Tom Baker's face, and I do love the Peter Davison titles, but that's what ruins this title sequence massively. That face is atrocious. What were they thinking? It looks like they took a picture of Tom Baker while he was drunk or something. It just looks terrible. Oh god, that's what really ruins this title sequence for me. Other than that, I do like it. At number 13, we've got the TV movie titles. So, this is where we got to the titles that I actually, kind of like. So, what are the positives? So, the theme arrangement's very good. It's the first time that the names are in the title, so that's really good. A first for the show. And I do like the logo sort of flying towards the screen. That's quite cool. But I think the main problem with this one is that it's a bit too long. Obviously, it's more sort of an opening credits to a movie, and it's just a bit long. And I think the vortex doesn't look quite good. It looks quite washed out. Next up, we've got the Series 7B titles from Matt Smith. Now, I quite like these titles. I love the theme. It's probably my favourite theme arrangement from the new series, at least, definitely. One of my favourites, I love the theme. I just love it. It's just brilliant. And the inclusion of Matt Smith's face, but it's sort of hidden behind the clouds, brilliant. I love the vortex near the end, although the TARDIS opening the doors the wrong way it gets to me. But it kind of feels like a bit of a mess at times. I do like seeing stuff like the nebula, but at times it just feels like it's a bit too cluttered. But overall, I quite like it. At number 11, we've got the Series 1 to 4 titles for the 9th and 10th Doctor. I feel like this is going to be quite controversial, but I do like this title sequence, the TARDIS spinning. It feels like a bit of an spiffed up version of the Tom Baker one, and I do like it, but the thing is, it's very simple, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the thing is, it was used quite a lot, 2 Doctors, so it kind of gets a bit boring over time. That's my problem with it. I'd never find myself going on YouTube to rewatch this one endlessly like other titles. But yeah, I do like it. At number 10, we've got the 7th Doctor titles. Yeah, I actually quite like these titles, to be honest. I just think it's a real grand, it's very grand in scale. You've got the galaxy, you've got the TARDIS and that weird bubble thing. I love the theme arrangement to it. And McCoy's face, I actually think it's quite cool, how it's sort of painted. I quite like that. However, it does have some drawbacks, obviously, I don't like the logo, and obviously the CGI has really dated. But, still, it was very unique for its time. In 9th place, we have the original William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton title sequence. This was revolutionary for its time, and it's still brilliant today. All the waves and patterns, it's so satisfying to watch. It's so mysterious, the Howl-arounds, it's just really cool. The logo's great, the theme's very ominous. really captures that vibe of watching this ancient TV. You know, it's very old TV now. It gets that vibe across quite well. But it is very simplistic, and that's not a bad thing, and I do wish it had the face in there, as the test looked wicked. In 8th place, we have the Patrick Troughton title sequence. Now, this could have easily been, you know, the previous spot down, but I think what saves it is the face. You know, Troughton's face is great. I don't like the logo, as you know, but I do like it. It looks a bit more intricate, and I think that's what pips it over the Hartnell title sequence. In 7th place, we've got the Series 11 and 12 titles, the current title sequence. Now, when I first saw this title sequence in the Ghost Monument, I was cheering. I thought it was bloody amazing. It basically feels like the 60s title sequences, but modernised. You know, it's very simple. The colours are beautiful. You know, the start is very ominous, but it's lovely, you know, with the nebulas and the logo. It's very nice and crisp and shiny. And, you know, it swirls, and that's really cool. The only thing I'm not overly keen on is the title card. Like, it cuts to just a blank title card. That, I don't know, I'm not sure about that. But rest of the sequence is great. Also, the theme is incredible. It feels like the 60s version, but it's just brilliant. Next, we have the Peter Capaldi titles from Series 8 to 10. I love these. They're so interesting. You know, you've got the cogs, the clocks, the way it unwinds, you know, the planets, like, circling around. The pulse rubber from the logo, Capaldi's eyes. It's so interesting, and that's why I love rewatching it, because it's so interesting. There's so much going on, but without feeling cluttered. I also really like the bluey vortex at the end. That's really cool. However, the main problem with the sequence is that the titles and the theme are never in sync. It's ridiculous. You know, it's just ridiculous. But I do love watching it every time. Next up, we have the Colin Baker title sequence. I'm sorry, I love these titles. They were my first titles because Attack of the Cybermen was my first story. So I love them, you know. It's so colourful. It adds a bit of colour to the Peter Davidson title sequences. You know, with the blue in the vortex, the sort of all the different colours when it's the, you know, when all the stars are going out. You know, it always reminded me of like an 80s quiz show. I don't know why. And the theme arrangement, obviously, in season 22, it was the ordinary 80s theme, but then you had the Trial of the Time Lord theme, which I love. It's beautiful. And number 4, we have the Peter Davidson title sequence. I love this sequence. You know, the star field, I love it. The glowy stars are just great. The face is much better done this time than the Tom Baker one that I talked about earlier. The logo, I love the neon logo. It's so cool. The theme, oh, I love it. It's probably my favourite theme, to be honest. I just love it. So retro, so 80s. It's so Doctor Who-y. Next, we have the Matt Smith titles from Series 5 to 6. Now, I love these titles. They're so epic. You know, you've got the thunder, the cloudy vortex, the really bold names. You know, it's so epic and so grand. The fiery orange vortex, the DW logo. I love that logo, and how the TARDIS spins from the logo. It looks good, you know. And it feels like sort of a natural follow-on to the Eccleston Tennant one, because obviously after the events of End of Time, time was damaged. So it kind of makes sense to go for a more darker sort of intro. You know, I think that's quite clever in a way. At second place, we have the season 12 to 17 titles from Tom Baker. These are nothing but iconic. You know, everybody knows this. The TARDIS, this is the first time the TARDIS was in the title sequence. Tom Baker's face looks incredible in this. The diamond logo, it looks properly done. The colours are properly done, unlike that John Pertwee one. It's properly done, and everybody recognised this one. You know, it was parodied on Family Guy and the Family Guy Star Wars. You know, everybody knows it. It is just so well made, but it's not quite my favourite. And at the top spot, we've got the season 7 to 10 titles for John Pertwee. First Doctor title sequence in colour, and oh my god, it's bloody beautiful. All the different patterns and swirls, the diamond patterns at the beginning, the swirly patterns, all the different colours, it's beautiful. You know, reds, greens, blues, purples, yellows, pinks, it's beautiful. John Pertwee's face is really well done. The neon green logo is lovely. The theme, whether it's the Derbyshire theme, whether it's the Delaware theme, it's incredible. It's so alien, so energetic, so colourful, so 70s, so Doctor Who.